May 11th, Rooter Patch Compound. Stepping to the top of the key here, looking into hut number 1. Our weather has been very favorable. These huts need to come off, and they will come off within the next 48 hours. I'm fully vented with a fan running, box fan. Heat at night is down to just the heat lamp, and it's not even needed. We should settle into the mid to low 50s here on out. If we do have a cold snap, I can handle a cold snap, but these plants need full sunshine and need to run. Soil looks a little bit dry at the moment. It's moist down just a little bit. I gave about 5 gallons per hut 2 days ago, and they're ready for some more, obviously. Our plant on the right will be our chosen plant. It's a good looking plant. Both of the plants are great, actually. They're both going to do real well, except for obviously where they had that little bit of scarring. So that guy's going to come out. We're laid down good. Plant's approximately 3 foot long, the big one that we're keeping. Real happy with it. Now we just got to get onto the business of breaking this bad boy down. Just rolled the hut off of hut number 1 on purpose. Pulled out the rebar. Have a mangled and tangled mess of wind fence, and we're going to situate that around the plant. Don't know if I'll get to hut number 2 this evening or not. I want to secure obviously hut number 1, that way it doesn't end up in the neighbor's lawn and they start growing pumpkins. The wind fence is up, the deed is done. Nice circular pattern wind fence with an entry right here. There's a little bit of flow through. It's not completely airtight, so critters can come and go as they please. Hopefully that's to a minimum. Just gave the plant a little douse of water. I'm on my lunch break. Always like to sneak home and check out my plants. Overheating just a touch. We're partly cloudy today, but just being out in full open sunshine, even partly cloudy, can be a little bit taxing on the plants. Don't think I'm going to lose any leaves from this, but definitely want to protect that growing tip. It's nice to be able to shade your plants if you can, especially when they're young, full plants. As they grow, the older leaves are a lot more stable and resilient to direct sunlight, especially when they're juiced up on nitrogen as heavy as what mine are. Keep that growing tip shaded, as you see underneath the tables. That just prevents burn or unnecessary loss of foliage, anything of that nature. Hut number 2 has the 1992.5 Ed Pierponts in there. Check out that cover crop growing in my huts. That's when you know your moisture is right where it should be. Good germination, tons of seeds that got sprouted up. You can see some purslane in there. Good old friend purslane. You can always count on purslane to grow. The plant on the right is a monster. Man, does it look good. You think, oh boy, Doc, there's your 44, 50 inch long plant. It's looking good. I don't like it. It's the one that's gonna have to go. The smaller plant, not much smaller, on the left will be our keeper plant. And unfortunately, this is by design of the plant itself. I have some doubling, and I want to show you some doubling that's causing me to think about getting rid of this. This node right here, you can see 2 leaves, this one and this one, of approximate size coming out of that node. Well, that's just one area, not a big deal, right? Think again. Dig deeper, look higher up, same thing. There's our 2 leaves. Same node. And then dig deeper and look inside of there. Seen a lot of flower and a lot of nonsense, very gnarly. This is genetics that are good in a plant that is having issues. So we don't want to deal with issues, so this plant's got to go, which is a bummer. I had some leaf burn on the one that I have to keep, of course, but I'd choose leaf burn over genetic anomalies any day. And you can see the leaf burn here. I just got a little bit hot on that tip. The whole leaf was wilted. Obviously most of the leaf bounced back, but we did lose a little bit. It'll crumble off. Not a big deal. That leaf will stay. It's still going to do work for us. As you can see here, we're looking good. We're getting 1 leaf per area, a good growing tip. Tendrils are rocking and rolling. The plant has touched down, but it's reaching for the sky. might have a little bit heavy nitrogen running on these. Obviously, look at the color of the green. So we're gonna go straight water for a while, guys. You know, I put the CalMag, put a little bit of fish, and the plants finally have that available to them. So hold tight on any fertilization for about another 10 days, 7 to 10 days. But these huts got to come off. Simple as that. Hut 1's gone. We got to do something about this hut too. Bam! Done. Hut number 2 is licked, thank goodness. It sits over there. I'm gonna strip off the plastic. I'll secure it to one of those T-posts like I did hut number 1. My wind fence is 36-inch landscaping fabric with 1x2s. I secure them to the 1x2s on the ends with staples. Then I drive 1x2s intermittently where I need to just taunt things up. Allow myself another 5 to 6 foot of growth. It won't even get close to that. I'll make sure that I back this wind fence up as progresses. It's not going to keep all the wind off, but it'll keep a majority of it off. As the plants grow and actually start to root in at the nodes, we won't need this anymore. We'll have wind fence around the perimeter of the patch, and mainly to keep critters out, not so much the wind. Standing up at the stop sign patch, we have 2 clones now. The original clone and a clone that went out about 5 days ago. I did a very poor job of removing the soil from the pot, putting that clone in the ground, and it suffered. It suffered, you know, it had some root breakage and some damage. And that's a perfect example of being not very smart in the sense of trying to save a pot that's $10 or $11 tops, as opposed to a good clone that you worked all winter long trying to grow and maintain. Have another clone. I'm gonna probably sneak it in right beside of this clone. The first clone that we put out is doing well. It's rooted in, it's bushy. It's just not throwing off any mains or any vine yet. I'm gonna leave it, obviously, and I'm gonna put some more dirt around it and try to force it to try to find a way out of the dirt. Doesn't hurt. These can stay in here for a little while, both of them. I'll put, like I said, I'll leave that one in as well. We'll have 3 plants in here, and whoever does the best will get 400 square feet to make us a nice, pretty clone pumpkin, hopefully. Stop sign patch, looking at our little bushy clone. I'm gonna start referring to this as clone A. Doesn't have a real good chance of being our clone, but there it is. Clone B is the one already in the ground. This is clone C. Nice plant. Like I said before, I'm gonna take some shears, scissors. We're gonna cut that pot off. Where that rampo sets is where this clone's gonna go to. The clone, this is a good clone. You guys are really gonna dig this. So originally, you can see, that's where we're cut off past it. We're cut off before it, you know, so this is a section, and then of course it comes off of it. And we got a little bit of split here and there. I've cloned off of it here. So this has had clones. This is a clone. It's had multiple clones taken off of it. Cool thing I like about this is we have a fair bit of vine, right? So that's something I'll bury at the nodes, and we might have some good rooting take hold. So I really believe that this one has the potential to be our chosen clone. The collar looks terrible. I've been starving my clones all season, and it shows. So once it gets in the ground, I'm gonna water it nicely. I'll give it 4 or 5 days, and we'll hit it with some CalMag and see if we can get some exciting growth out of it. It only has, you know, 400 square feet, 420 square feet, whatever, to fill up. So it's got a good start, and I think it's going to outpace A, B, and C is going to be it. The deed is done. Clone C is in the ground. I went ahead and watered it in, and you'll see in the photo here that I was able to cut the pot off nicely. This being such a nicely root-bound old clone, the sod held together very well. And I just mounted it up like I normally would, put a nice trench, watered in with probably about 7 gallons of water. I did put just a spot of CalMag in there. I just don't like the collar so much that I went ahead and put just a hair. And I think that'll help. Went ahead and buried the vine, obviously, except for about 8 to 10 inches of the very end growing tip. These tables will stay over the plant. Obviously, the one with the growing tip will advance as I anticipate this plant to outpace all the other clones. This table will stay till the end of time to protect what you would refer to as some sort of a assemblage of a stump to keep the rain off of it. We have a beautiful 10-day forecast. Rained about 3 inches last week, like I said. My soil is already drier than Jeff Tile's jokes. The huts are off. Man, it's nice to have those huts off. We should be safe. The real concern's frost. Cold nights in the mid-40s, not a real issue. Not concerned about that. I think we can handle 40s. You get a little bit of that yellowing on the leaves and whatnot, but overall it does slow you down. But these plants need to harden off. They need to get ready for what's coming. We're gonna fill up this whole space. It's gonna be a heck of a summer. We'll have some nice pumpkins at the end of it. Excited to see what the clones do. Overall, as I should be, I'm where I should be, and things are gonna work out nicely. As always, if there are any questions, comments, or thoughts, hit me up. Otherwise, thanks for following. Doc out.